New tonight, a WCNC Charlotte investigation has uncovered a series of failures that led to an injustice and cost an innocent man his career.
WCNC Charlotte's Nate Morabito's now learned that a former teacher and football coach is suing the city of Charlotte and some of its police officers, accusing them of negligence and malicious prosecution.
In this lawsuit, which is backed by court records, a Graham, North Carolina man says Charlotte-Mecklenburg police arrested the right suspect but misidentified him in the system. Despite early doubts, fingerprinting at the jail, and the correct defendant's name and criminal history in the case file, this mistake turned into a conviction that ended up on the wrong person's record. Whether on the ball field,
we grew up literally 2 doors down from each other,
or in the sandbox,
we played with action figures together.
Kendrick Gonzalez says he and Kendrick Sherrod,
somebody that came to every birthday, his dad was like a father figure to me,
were inseparable as kids. Then, in middle school, everything changed.
He went one way, I went another way.
Gonzalez's path eventually brought him back to middle school as a teacher and football coach in Alamance County, where he says on an afternoon in 2023,
I was literally in the middle of practice.
Everything came full circle in the worst possible way.
I received a phone call from HR and she said, hey, you need to get off the field immediately. All of the kids kind of heard the conversation and the coaching staff as well. So it was extremely embarrassing.
It all started almost 2 hours away at a Charlotte hotel. That's where CMPD arrested this man, Kendrick Sherrod, for possessing heroin, breaking and entering, and resisting police. Jail records show he first gave officers a false name and then lied again, saying he was actually Kendrick Gonzalez. So these are pictures of you and him?
Yes, sir.
You look nothing alike?
Absolutely not.
Records show when they pulled a record of Gonzalez's license, they did not believe the picture matched the man in custody, but proceeded anyway. The Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office says detention officers fingerprinted Sherrod, as is protocol, and were given the correct name. Yet when it was time to set his bond, records show the wrong name was still in the system. At the time, a magistrate noted the courts were unsure of his identity. Within 2 weeks, records show Sherrod pleaded guilty to a breaking or entering charge under Gonzalez's name, even though a sentencing worksheet from the very same day listed the right person, along with his lengthy criminal history.
It was just devastating to me.
Gonzalez would only find out after the conviction went through.
I was just stunned.
His shock grew even more when he learned it was Sherrod, his childhood friend. Not only did Sherrod betray him, the justice system allowed him to do it.
And I'm like, how could something like this happen?
Sometimes these things happen where people use other people's name, but I've never seen it get this far.
Dominique Cam represents Gonzalez. They filed a lawsuit against the city and officers involved for not doing more to get it right.
The ball's been dropped to multiple places, but it starts with law enforcement not identifying the person on the scene.
It really, really hurt me to my core.
Beyond the damage to his reputation and mental health,
I thought I was going to lose my home.
Gonzalez says the mistake hurt his family financially.
I had to sell one of my cars.
And his future. He tells us not only did he lose his job at the school when the district found out about the conviction, it took him nearly a year to find a new one at a daycare as an after-school teacher and van driver.
I went to school to teach K through 12, not to work in a daycare center.
His lawsuit says the courts eventually dismissed the case against him, but he says the damage is done.
If it happened to me, it could happen to you.
And now he's desperate to make sure the same thing doesn't happen to anyone else. CMPD, through a spokesperson, told us at this time the agency is not able to comment or provide additional information, including whether CMPD is considering making any changes as a result of this case. Nate Morabito, WCNC Charlotte.
And Nate tells us that earlier today, the city did file a motion to dismiss this lawsuit. In its answers to Gonzalez's complaint, also filed today, the city denied any wrongdoing and said any alleged damages were not the result of their actions, but rather those of third parties, including the person who gave officers the wrong name.